and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Now, I'm not very good with secrets. I could do my whole diatribe Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch, come join us. I'll go ahead and do it, but I got to circle back because we got a big announcement. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. You can still join us for lunch Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But there's going to be a minor, gigantically small, humongous change. You like that, Jake?
I like it. I can't tell where we're at.
But we'll get to that in a second. Because what you're going to hear is not going to change. What you're going to hear is Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. What you're going to get has not changed. Unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake is to put up with me a little bit longer than normal. But we're going to have a whole lot of fun, producer Jake and I together. The big announcement. Do you want to make it? Do you want me to make it?
No, you got it.
You want me to make it? Okay. You can grab lunch and join us a little longer each and every day starting Monday. Monday of next week, going forward for the foreseeable future, the Adam Carriker Show will now be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's now 2 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the people out there for listening, for, frankly, paying attention and caring at all. So I really appreciate that. Not bad for a guy who took speech therapy lessons for the first 6 years of his life, was too scared to get on the phone and order pizza. Now you listen to me babble, go on and on with some of my thoughts and opinions, and I have a whole lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. You seem to. So the big news, the Adam Carriker Show is going to 2 hours a day, starting Monday of next week, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can still, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Steve Taylor's still dropping the knowledge on Wednesdays. And actually, the Carriker Chronicles is going to be played for an hour on Wednesdays as well. Okay, but you can still grab your lunch. Come join us. Unique insight, Husker sports, college football. Have a whole lot of fun. Unbridled honesty, sports in general. All that good stuff will not change. It's just going to be for a smidge longer. So Jake and I get to have a whole lot of fun together each and every day, just a little bit longer. Are you excited about spending more time with yours truly? And careful how you answer.
Absolutely. Double the trouble, double the fun. I'm excited for to see where this show, will expand. We don't have a choice. It's expanding. So we have to expand with it.
Well, you were off to a great start. Then you said you had to. Now, no, I'm excited. I know Jake's excited too. It was actually, DP actually asked you, and you're like, Adam's show should go to 2 hours a day. Is that correct? He actually asked you, and that was your opinion.
Yeah,
okay, I appreciate
that.
I
didn't make the final decision. I don't have that power. But he did ask for my input. And I think this show's ready for another hour every day.
I appreciate that. I'll give you your bonus a few $100 later for popping out the good words for me. I appreciate that. But we do. We have a whole lot of fun. Love talking Husker sports in general, and college football. We got a lot to talk about today. For today, it's still an hour. All right, so you're still going to get about 2-3 hours worth of show in 1 hour until Monday of next week. So my question, because, you got John Cook retiring. You got DANI BUSBOOM Kelly, the new head coach. The timing, obviously, Troy said this was something that Cook brought up to him last Thursday. So when I saw him at the Outland Trophy thing, he did not yet know, because that was Wednesday. I was going to say he didn't bring it up to me. But he actually did not yet know, because I saw him. That was on Wednesday of last week. So he found out the next day. Troy did. But he reached out to DANI. Obviously, DANI's the new head coach here at Nebraska. They didn't want a bunch of random speculation, after Cook retired, which is why they made the announcement relatively quickly that DANI BUSBOOM Kelly is going to be the next Nebraska volleyball coach, to avoid a bunch of speculation, which I think was smart. I think they handled it about as well as you could. The retirement of a legend. You're bringing in one of the top coaches in the entire frickin' country, and you're bringing her home. An alumni, a former Husker, born in Cortland, raised in Nebraska. Man, I still think it would have been epic to see Louisville versus Nebraska for the national championship last year. How crazy would that have been? Knowing that that's our current coach, looking back, that's our future coach, had that happen. But they did play last year, all right? So that was pretty cool. It's always cool to get to watch. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the thing I want to kick it off with, And I want people to let us know their honest thoughts on the text line, because I've seen people divided on this. There was some rumor and innuendo out there. Hey, Nebraska hasn't scheduled a spring game. Why not? What's going on? Is there a reason for this? Well, Troy Dannon, all right, if you hadn't heard, you probably have, when asked about the spring game, basically said Nebraska will hold its final practice on April 26th. I'm not going to call it a game. Okay. He said he doesn't know exactly how it's going to look just yet. Okay. But Dannon does think the spring game as we know it will be different everywhere moving forward. He sees it more of a fall sports preview, a fan celebration. I had someone who texted me, Andy Jurassic. He sends me all sorts of great info, just great stuff for the website, CarrikerChronicles.com. But he said, hey, do you think there's a chance they'll turn it into like a Pro Bowl skills challenge type deal? I'm going to offer my thoughts on that in a minute. I want everyone to let us know, okay, what are your thoughts on basically, if you went to last year's spring game, that's basically the last spring game Nebraska is ever going to have. It sounds like, at least for the foreseeable future. It's crazy to think about it. I remember standing on the field doing my gut reaction in the end zone. It's never going to look the same, at least it doesn't seem so. And they don't know exactly what it's going to look like just yet. We just know the last practice will be April 26th. We'll figure out exactly what that's going to look like going forward, but essentially no spring game as we know it. No traditional red and white spring game as we know it going forward. What are your thoughts on that? Let us know in the text line. Jake, what is that number?
402-464-5685, the Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line.
Number never changes. Let us know. And I'm going to give my thoughts here in a minute. I want to talk about Cook and Kelly here for a second because I want to give people time to text in, let us know their thoughts. And then I want to read some of the thoughts and react to that and give my thoughts on it as well. All right. Oh, as always, the daily prize trivia contest giveaway. All right. $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions. They are located at 2040 Southwest 5th Street here in Lincoln. Ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is call in. Now, I came prepared with a trivia challenge question today. Now, all you'd have to do is call in. Again, what's the number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
So text in to let us know your thoughts on the spring game, no longer being the same. And you can call in. Be caller number one. You're going to win the prize. I'm going to bring you on air. I have what I think is an interesting one. I don't know that it's like the most difficult trivia challenge question ever, but I immediately was like, this is what I want it to be for tomorrow, per the recent news. Okay. So while we're waiting for people to text in, for a caller to call in, so on and so forth, you got that clip of John Cook there, Jake. And basically what this is, it's a minute 42 in length. And it's the introductory press conference for John Cook when he was first hired. Terry Pettit's sitting right next to him. By the way, Terry Pettit's going to join me tomorrow at 12:30, former Nebraska volleyball coach. All right, we're going to be joined today at 12:30 by Jesse Cush, who had won 3 national titles in the 90s as well. So great guest coming up. All right, but it's the introductory press conference. And then it talks about, what it was like to be the head coach. And it's Cook. And it was amazing to me because his voice is literally the exact same all these years later. And I thought that was kind of cool. But then you're going to hear highlights from his first national championship, second, third, and fourth. Okay. And then we'll kind of give our thoughts on Cook, Busboom, etc. Go ahead and roll that clip there, Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, the head volleyball coach of the University of Nebraska, John Cook.
Let's give John a hand.
Well, this is a dream come true for me, and it means a lot to me to be a Husker.
A lot of people advise me not to take the job because how are you ever going to do more than what they've done already? It's a very successful program. Maybe the only way to go is down. I challenged myself. I had this belief that we could take it to another level.
The undefeated Nebraska Huskers poised to celebrate. Into the middle, Livingston. This could be it. Set Kulikowski. And he puts it away. Nebraska has made history.
Holloway to Jordan Larson. It's over. A slice of Husker heaven in Omaha. Hunter to Kelsey Fiend. The Huskers win it at home for their 4th national championship.
Vecchi again for the win. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are your national champions in 2017.
So many things have to go right. It almost becomes magical.
Being from Nebraska, it's even more special, and just love this state and I love this team.
You see a lot of teams in sports will get to a Final Four or win a championship, and then you never hear from them again. And Nebraska is just expected here.
So I thought that was kind of cool to go back in time. Introductory press conference. If you watch the video, there's a video with that. You see Terry Pettit sitting right there. And I had a chance to just chat with him briefly last night. Again, Coach Pettit will come on and join us tomorrow at 12:30. And you just kind of go briefly down memory lane. I mean, that is 25 years and way too condensed. But again, this is, an hour show. We could show more on Monday with 2 hours. But here's some of, if you didn't know, John Cook's accolades. And it's crazy. 32 years as a head coach, because he was actually at Wisconsin for 7 years before he chose to come to Nebraska. All right, 883 wins, 176 losses. An over 800 win percentage, 834 to be exact, the 5th best ever in D1, 4-time national champ, 12-time, semifinalist, 3-time national coach of the year. Actually, an 8-time conference coach of the year, 4 in the Big 12, 4 in the Big 10. All right, 24 NCAA appearances, tournament appearances in 25 years. All right, 14. Actually, I thought it was 15. It says 14 here, conference titles as well. And he's already in the AVCA Hall of Fame and has been since 2017. It was interesting when I saw the tweets about DANI BUSBOOM Kelly being at the pro volleyball game in Omaha. I was like, how many times does she make it back to Nebraska, being the head coach of Louisville? Recruiting, and they got to deal with the transfer portal, albeit not at the same level. I was like, huh. And then I kind of went about my day. But now you look back and you're like, makes a lot more sense now why she was here. I believe John Cook was even there that night. So one of the things I thought was interesting in one of the highlights, they talked about Sarah Pavin, spiking the ball. That was the National Player of the Year, the Heisman winner basically for volleyball. And then the very next highlight was the same match where they won the national title as Jordan Larson. So they were on the same team, which I had kind of forgotten about for a little bit. All right, you think about one of the greatest American volleyball players in history. Okay, the best outside hitter and MVP when the U.S. won its gold medal in volleyball in Tokyo in 2021. And you got Sarah Pavin on the other side. By the way, I've stood next to Sarah. She pretty much looks me eye to eye. She might be a millimeter shorter. Like, she is a solid 6'5", 6'6". So you think about some of those teams, and then DANI BUSBOOM Kelly was on that team as a libero. The libero of the year in the Big 12 that year, 4-year starter for John Cook on that national championship team. You think about the great career, you think about everything he did. And when people are like, man, you can't win at Nebraska, what a bunch of BS. I've said it again. Look at Devaney, look at Osborne, look at Pettit, look at Cook, now BUSBOOM Kelly. We have a much better, in my opinion, transition plan after John Cook than we per se have had with some of our football coaches over the years. But hopefully Matt Rule can be the remedy that can fix that. But you look at DANI BUSBOOM Kelly, obviously coming home. She's from, like I said, Cortland, played at Nebraska. I mean, our time crossed over significantly. If you don't know her name, her given name is DANI BUSBOOM. Kelly is for her husband, Lane Kelly, DANI BUSBOOM Kelly. Lane was a long snapper, walk-on long snapper on the teams that I were on. He was either my age or a year younger. I think DANI is about a year younger. And so, obviously, we crossed over a lot in college while she was playing volleyball. I was playing football. Lane Kelly saw him a lot as well. And, got to put some respect on long snappers' names nowadays. We just realized as a fan base just how important freaking long snappers are now. But you look at DANI BUSBOOM Kelly, what she did at Louisville. I mean, she is walking into a situation where there's high expectations for a reason here at Nebraska, and she's the fit for it. But also, #1 recruiting class in the entire country 2 years ago, a top recruiting class a year ago as well. The National Player of the Year coming out of high school is one of the players coming in to Nebraska this season. But it wasn't that way when she went to Louisville. They were 12-18. And they'd never been a #1 seed. She made him a #1 seed twice. She was the National Coach of the Year a couple years ago. She's also in her past been the National Assistant Coach of the Year, the 3-time ACC Coach of the Year. They've won 4 straight ACC championships. And again, she didn't walk in the door to a place that was exactly rolling. They were well under 500. So Not only does she understand how to build a program, not only does she understand what Nebraska looks like, feels like, what it takes to be successful here, because it can happen here despite what outsiders want to say. And people who don't know what they don't know try to talk about Nebraska. That nothing more annoys me than people who don't know what they don't know. They can't be helped. If you don't know it and you're aware of it, hey, you can be helped. I try to be that person. Hey, I don't know everything. Help me out. The people who don't know what they don't know and then want to express a strong opinion, they just can't be helped. I'm sorry. So for me, she knows what this job is about. She knows how Cook built it. Nobody's going to know it better. Like if you had a number 1 draft pick in the country of who you could select as the next volleyball coach, it's DANI BUSBOOM Kelly. All right. You got any thoughts on that? And then what's the text line say about the spring game there, Jake?
Yeah, no, I just thought it was interesting today that you kind of brought up Osborne, that John Cook talked about directly working for Osborne, and working with him all these years and having that comparison, the 25 years. It's always he's been somewhat designated as the Tom Osborne of volleyball, and I think that connection will always stick. So I think that's kind of interesting. But as far as we get to some of the response here on the text line for the spring game, 1562 says, people keep calling it a celebration, but what are they celebrating? Has this football program earned a celebration? We all know the answer is no, so just cancel it altogether.
Any other thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah,
I'll respond. I want to hear your thoughts too, but what else we got?
Let's go. The spring game has, 1922 says, the spring game has been a tradition that I look forward to every year for 50 years. So some people probably feeling a little bit bad about it moving on. 7826 says, I think if they replace the spring game with something still offering fans a glimpse of the team, whether it be a practice, skills challenge, drills, or a game, fans may be more accepting of the spring game no longer being played.
So those are valid points. I understand both sides. What are you offering instead? I wouldn't cancel it altogether personally. I've heard all sorts of points of view, from people who are passionately upset about this to people who completely understand it to people who understand why they're doing it but still don't like it. I think that's probably the most common theme. Here's how I look at it, and this was my reaction. All right. So we had 2 guys last year suffer major knee injuries. Bly Hill, who was supposed to be a starting corner for us, and was it Demetrius Bell? Was he the other guy, the wide receiver? ACLs, okay? And when you get into revenue sharing and you're paying these guys like big time money, like I don't know if you saw this, Jake, but Travis Hunter said that, I mean, it's no chump change. Let's be real. The Heisman Trophy winner accumulated $2 million over the course of his career of college. You know how much Carson Beck has accumulated so far? And why he entered the draft and then decided to come back? You have any idea? Reportedly $10 million.
Wow.
And Travis, the reason I bring up Travis Hunter is he goes, I'm jealous. I should come back and try to get his words were $100 million NIL deal is what he said. The one thing I like about this revenue sharing and the money and whatnot is that hopefully it keeps players in college football longer. That is my favorite sport to watch. That's the one thing I like. There's other things that it's detracting from, and things that are changing, and things that I know fans aren't happy about, and things I'm not crazy about. And there are some positives. I'll forevermore say there's always a silver lining, no matter how dark the cloud. Now, let's be real. There's darker clouds in life than things surrounding college football. But I think the point still stands. But this is how I look at the spring game. I compare it to NFL preseason games. The NFL preseason, it has 3 games now, because it used to be 4 and then a 16-game regular season. Now it's down to 3 games. Okay, 3 preseason games with 17 regular season games. But when I was playing, it was 4 preseason games. And this is how it operated. And I'm going to look at it from the starter's point of view. Oh, by the way, people who are like, we have to get down to a 105-man roster. That's why you can't have an actual spring game. Couple of things. Okay, just a couple thoughts. Number one, we're not down to 105 yet. The last time I looked, we were around 130. We don't have to be there yet. And I don't think we have to be there for a while. So we aren't down to 105 yet. Also, when I played, NFL teams stepped foot on the field and played another team with 53 players. Just think about that. So for me, 105 is plenty. Like if you think about 11 on 11, there's 22, 44, 66, 88. There's a 4 deep right there. You can absolutely have a spring game with 105 players. Let's say you got 20 players out. That's still going to give you 85 players. Let's say you got 5 specialists. That's still 80 players. That's more than a 3 deep. Okay. The trouble you're going to run into is the linemen. You're going to run into the trouble with the linemen. And that's why linemen, I'm staring at a picture from last year's spring game. Okay. I have a guy basically it's like a grayish type shirt because they had to go back and forth between the 2 teams. So that's the one issue you're going to run into. I wasn't a former offensive lineman. I was a former D lineman, but I understand it. Okay, those bodies, those big bodies, they're hard to come by. Here's how I look at it, though, because I understand the injury risk. I understand everything involved. And this is where I come back to the NFL preseason. If you're a starter, because let's be honest, you're the most concerned about the guys you're paying the most money to, which is your starters typically. The starters would play 15 snaps. This was the same when I was with the Rams. This was the same when I was in DC. 15 snaps the first game, which is usually about 10 minutes. Okay, you wouldn't be in the whole first quarter. It's usually about 8, 9, maybe let's say 10 minutes. Preseason game number 2, you usually play about a quarter and a half. You don't make it to halftime. Okay. And then the last preseason, or the third preseason game, you usually play the first half. If you're a starter, then you're done. The fourth preseason game, you typically don't play. So if you add all that time up together, combined, you get about one game combined. That's with guys that are doing this in the NFL. So I look at the spring game, it's one game. My thought is this. The starters can't play one quarter. They can't play one quarter. I understand the injury concerns. I understand the money on the line. I understand what happened last year. But I'm like, you can't play one quarter? Just one quarter. And guess what? You're the head coach of the team. Walk over to your D coordinator and say, don't blitz the first quarter. So you don't blitz the first quarter. You just play on the quarter. And then the other 3 quarters, you can play the other, 60, 70 guys on the roster and get them as close to game time as experience as you're going to get without being in an actual game. When in the football world, okay, in the football sense, the bullets are real. They aren't quite real in the spring game, but it's as close as you're going to get. So you're telling me you can't play one quarter? Don't blitz? Just don't blitz? I mean, Scott Frost went all the way to 2-hand touch a couple years ago. And then weren't our quarterbacks live last year in the spring game? At least for a while? Maybe except Dylan? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think maybe except Dylan.
I'm just like, you can't just do that? And I understand, like UCF has canceled their spring game. We are not the only ones. This is the new wave of college football. I think for me, there's a way to do it. And, Troy Dannon, Matt Rule, they have to do what they believe is best. Am I sitting here pounding the table saying this is the most god-awful thing ever? No, I am not. Am I sitting here saying there's a way that it could be done and you could uphold a tradition? Because every time I turn around, we're losing this tradition, we're losing that tradition, we're losing this, and that in college football. And this seems like something that could be a relatively simple fix. Okay, with minimal risk. I mean, heck, just have them play the 15 plays and don't have anybody blitz. Literally, I think it could be done. Now, that's not what's going to happen. I don't think it's the end of planet Earth. I know some people who are heavily upset. For me, it's like, all right, what's the risk? What's the reward? And is there a way that this could logically happen without putting a bunch of people at risk? And I do think that there is. Now, that's not the case. That's not what's going to happen. But before I go on, what are your thoughts, Jake? Okay. And what's the text line having to say there?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think they could put something simple on. I keep going back to 7-on-7. That can be entertaining too. I mean, I think they're going to find a way to do it. But I agree with you. Even just 15 minutes. I mean, the NBA is talking about shortening their quarters to 10 minutes. Shorten your game if that's what you really need to do, and you're still getting something entertaining out of it. But yeah, people on the text line, again, like you said, I think it's a lot of frustration, but understanding.
Oh, the NBA. We got a clip that I sent you. We're not going to play it today. I'm going to save it for another day because this show is too loaded. By the way, if you want the free prize, call in. Either way, I'm going to ask Jake the trivia question. This is a loaded show, so if it doesn't work out, that's perfectly fine. But we got a clip of Shaq basically talking about Jimmy Butler, who's getting paid $50 million, and why should he go hard? And you wonder why the NBA ratings are down. We're going to probably save that for next week because tomorrow's loaded too. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Shortening the quarters to 10 minutes is not the answer. How about you stop acting entitled and go play hard? Sorry, that was another sport, but I also couldn't help but come across this. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame's starting quarterback, okay, is at the Senior Bowl. And I saw this. Former Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard said he's still sore from the national title game versus Ohio State. Riley said, and I quote, "Those dudes could hit," end quote. So why is he taking part in the Senior Bowl? Question mark, says Travis Horka. I hope I'm saying that right, on X. Leonard said, and I quote, "If you give me a chance to play football, I'm going to play it," end quote. Now, I'm a former lineman. I quit playing quarterback because I wanted to go hit people, if you know anything about my backstory. I was much higher recruited as a quarterback. In fact, Nebraska said as a DN, you're not good enough to play here. Although at the time they were running the option, I wasn't going to come play here as an option quarterback either. But I went to defense because I wanted to hit people. So maybe I'm not the right person for this, but I think a lot of Nebraskans can relate. Hardworking, blue collar, gonna earn it, and they want their football team to relate. And that's who Matt Rule is as a coach, to be clear. So is this the end of the world? No. What I'm saying is if you're not going to find a way to have a spring game, whatever they do in its place had better be good. I think that's a fair thing to say and a fair thing to look at. And if it's some sort of, you could have a, I don't know, this almost sounds stupid as I'm just talking out loud and thinking through my thoughts. You could have a 40-yard dash race, like who's the fastest guy on the team. And you could have, different, like you said, 7-on-7. I don't know. Flag football is actually entertaining to watch. This all just makes me want to vomit, though. I want to go hit somebody, and I want a team that wants to hit somebody. But at the same time, we lost 2 players to ACLs last year. So, again, I come back to you couldn't do 15 plays. You couldn't do a quarter and just not blitz. I don't know. Am I crazy? What do people say on the text line? I'm having a hard time with this. I understand it. I don't like it. It's not the end of the world. I think there's a solution, but I'm not going to get my way. And that's where I'm at, Jake.
Yeah, there's people that kind of going through different ideas. Eric and Lincoln says, just make it a skills competition like the Pro Bowl. Who wouldn't want to see offensive linemen try to make field goals?
Okay. I don't think we're getting better, but now we're talking about entertainment at least.
That's right.
I could get behind that. Although, let's be honest, I've tried to kick field goals. Dude, there's a torn hamstring just waiting to happen. I'm just telling you for big bodies. While that's entertaining, I don't know if that's a great idea. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. When we come back, all right, we're going to have 3-time national champion, former Husker, Jesse Cush. We'll be right back.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're going to keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to Oak Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake, and welcome to Mind Your Mind. My girlfriend recently added a sign to her beauty shop that reads, "Life is beautiful." I know many may not see life the same way. Some may view it as hard, depressing, grievous, lonely, or even cruel. But does it have to be? I can't help but hear the reggae classic by Friday and Colonel Mike, "Life is what you make it." As I looked at her newly decorated wall with the words, "Life is beautiful," she looked at me and said, "You have to find the beauty in it." Despite how life has treated us, we must dig deep to find the beauty in it. After all, we are alive and breathing. Why not change your view and see the beauty in it? I encourage you today to change your perspective. Step back and change the direction of your view. There is beauty in everything if you look close enough. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah.
Do you support the onesie?
For children, yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. If you didn't hear at the top of the show, we got big-time major announcement, breaking news. The Adam Carriker Show is now going to 2 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 4 days a week. We've got a special guest on the line right before we bring a three-time national champion on. I've got the solution for the spring game because we've had 12-minute quarters in the past, right? Have a 12-minute quarter, have the starters play one quarter, don't blitz, 12-minute quarters the rest of the game, and then you can even run the clock in the second half. All things that have happened in the past in spring games, I'm just saying. And one of the texters was like, A fan celebration. What are we celebrating? Well, we're celebrating the wussification of America, Jake. All right, let's bring on our guest. 3-time national champion. All right, former Husker punter and legend, Mr. Jesse Cush. How you doing, my friend?
Great, Adam. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Man, I know you're in Arizona now, and I know you were up in Estes Park. You owned a shop known as the Big Red of the Rockies at one point in time that did very well. But we're gonna come back to all that because you're a 3-time national champ. Your dad, Bill, won the titles and helped win the titles in 70, 71. I remember I tried to get you to name the shop 5 rings, but you never would listen to me. But man, how you doing? What are you up to these days? How's life out in Arizona?
Well, right now it's cold. We got a couple inches of snow here in the last few days. So we live right now in Prescott, Arizona.
Okay.
So we're northwest of Phoenix, southwest of Flagstaff, about 5,000 feet. So similar to Loveland, Denver, Fort Collins. And we moved down here in early August, and we own a beef jerky store now in Sedona.
Ooh, beef jerky.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the family and I lived down in Pensacola, Florida. Basically, I was rehabbing my knee at the Andrews Institute for like 6 months, so we know that area well. We've seen snow all over Florida. We've seen it down south. You're telling us it's in Arizona. We had like a dusting on Thanksgiving Day. Have we had much other than that, snow-wise, Jake, other than Thanksgiving Day? Has that really been it?
It's been pretty light.
It's crazy. All right. Hey, man, talk to me. 94, 95, 97. You guys had some of the best special teams units in the history of Nebraska football. What made those units so good?
I think the first thing was they put their best athletes, including their punter, on those units.
I like it.
And when I first got there, I had Byron Bennett
and
Tom Sealer were there, and that's how I learned, was from watching Byron, because my technique in high school and stuff it's too slow, not very consistent. But you watch the people ahead of you, you kind of learn from them, watch what they're doing. And the biggest change, and that when I was there, was our special teams practices were always right in the middle of the full team practice. So it wasn't like an afterthought at the beginning or at the end when everybody's gone. The whole team was there. Coach Osborne was always right there watching everything. And we did different situational special teams, punting out of your own end zone, trying to pin them deep, inside their own 10. And then the fun part was when they'd have their punt block coming against you, and once in a while they'd get one. But so it was, one punt, and we do the second team punt, the kickoff returns, field goals, extra. I mean, it was probably a half hour of practice right in the middle, and not everybody's participating, but they were all there. They're all watching. And so it was, I don't know exactly what they do right now, but it was taken very seriously.
So you said Osborne was right there watching everything. Like, how much would he get involved, whether it be special teams meetings, whether it be chatting with you guys one-on-one, whether it be on the field? Was it a situation where he kind of coached the coaches and then the coaches coached you, or is it a situation where he was heavily involved in special teams as well?
He was more just kind of watching everything, and he'd have his input with the coaches as it was going on, because Dan Young was my special teams coach at the time. And, because Tom knew all the players and say, maybe we should try this player here, or maybe get this player over here. So he knew how to kind of plug people in if people got hurt during practice. He'd have his notes right there. If we need a left guard, let's grab this guy. So he was there making sure everything was running smoothly, make sure everybody was, in the right spots, all that stuff, lined up right. So, he'd come up with the fakes, which I never got to use in a game, but so he was very, very heavily involved.
Now, when you said they use their best athletes, do you believe, I remember Coach Beamer out at Virginia Tech, Beamer ball. They won several games via Beamer ball. He was the special teams coach as well as the head coach. He believed in putting his starters on special teams. That is not the majority of what most coaches do. And if you think about it, sometimes you've got really young, talented players that can help keep your starters fresh and you want to get them experience, but sometimes you do need your best players out there. Are you one of those guys who's like, man, I would err towards playing starters on special teams, or what have you seen that's worked the best?
I think I would put my best players out there. I mean, especially now, you see so many games are so close that a play here, a play there, it changes the game. And I mean, I'd want every advantage I could get, especially if I'm playing against a team that's not doing that, then I'd have even a bigger advantage. So I'd be the coach that would put my best players out there and say, you know, you being out there is going to help us. You know, you can get a break after the play.
So you played with a guy that several Husker fans are going to be familiar with, Darren Erstad, the number 1 pick in the 1995 Major League Baseball draft. But he was also a really good punter for Nebraska here, part of national championship teams as well. What was it like playing with Darren Erstad? What was it like playing with a guy who's, I mean, he could have gone to the NFL as a punter, several different things, but his ultimate future was going to be in baseball, and you probably all had to be aware of that. So what was that like, him trying to balance two sports like that, yet being an integral part of national championship teams?
That was interesting because coming off the 93 season, Byron Bennett graduated. So going into the 94 season, technically I was going to be listed as the number 1 punter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if he participated. I think he did participate then in that spring game in the 94 spring game. And I mean, we're both left-footed, so that was interesting. And I taught him a few things. He taught me a few things. We kind of pushed each other, and he did have a heck of a leg. It was quite impressive to see, especially since he was also a kickoff guy. And then he'd go over and play a baseball game and hit a couple home runs. And he ended up being a pretty good friend. And even though he was only there for the 1 year, but yeah, we pushed each other, and amazing athlete.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Were you aware that Bill Belichick actually would purposely try to go find left-footed punters just because it was the ball, well, you probably know this better than I do, but the ball would come off the foot a little bit differently, so it would kind of mess up the return man a little bit, and it just created a little bit of an extra challenge that other teams had to deal with. And I've been told by multiple people, he specifically would go try to get left-footed punters. Were you aware of that at all?
No, that's interesting. Because I over my 3 years, there were a handful of punts that were dropped. And maybe it's that lefty spin on the ball that did it. But, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, it's probably a little different catching one. I've never done it, but, man, I think you have a good point there.
All right, man, talk to me. Like I mentioned, you and your dad, he was a part of the 70-71 national title team. You were a part of 94, 95, 97. The only family, all right, to be a part of all 5 national championship teams as players. What's that like? And that's got to be pretty cool. But what's that like for you and your dad to kind of have that special thing between the two of you and within your family as well?
Well, it is special, but I think both of us would like it to end at some point here.
Yes, win more titles. That'd be great.
Number 6 should be hopefully somewhat soon.
Yeah.
It is special, just the way it all timed up. And I know my dad, good friend Joe Blaha, and his son played when I played, but he wasn't on the 97 team. So they had 4 rings. But to just time it up like that, and, you know, we both went out our senior years with national champions and championships. And I mean, it's fun to get the rings all together. I think they're in Lincoln right now, actually. So it's fun to go to events here and there and let people take pictures and show them off a little bit. But yeah, it's just one of those things where the stars aligned. But yeah, we would like to get that 6th one here at some point, and there probably won't be a cush on the team, but.
Well, You and about 2.5 million other people across the face of planet Earth would love to see that. Last question I got for you, my friend. So you, as you know, and as I mentioned earlier, you owned the Big Red of the Rockies for years up in Estes Park, beautiful Estes Park. Ultimately, as you mentioned, you moved to Arizona. By the way, good luck in the beef jerky business. But what was it like? You're in the middle of Colorado, man. I mean, this is the war zone. And here you are with a Big Red of the Rockies shop, nothing but Nebraska memorabilia. Did you ever have people like Colorado fans, make it a little bit interesting in a not so fun way from time to time, or were people pretty cordial?
They were pretty cordial with me. Now, the previous owner, I think the store was started in 96. So he had to deal with that 2001 game, which he was a little bit of an instigator too, though.
Ooh,
so
okay,
but
I'm already a fan.
I bought the store in 06, so things had calmed down a little bit between the two teams, but especially Colorado, they really fell off. So there wasn't much talking going on there, but it was 99% pretty cordial. Once in a while, somebody come in and say, "What are you doing here? Go home, get out of here." But it's like, But yeah, that store, that was a fun store, and we sure got a lot of Nebraska fans. Not necessarily just from Nebraska too. They'd come from Kansas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, South Dakota, all over the place, and always stop in and support the Big Red.
So, by the way, for those who don't know, the Big Red of the Rockies is still going strong.
Yeah.
Gary Novotny is running it. He owns Gary Michaels Clothing. Free shout out. You're welcome, my friend. He's a good dude. All right. Make sure that I look sharp and clean and a little less sloppy when I do public appearances. Gary Michaels Clothing. But him and his sons, he owns it. His sons are kind of running it there. I've been in there, oh, God, maybe over a dozen times the past few years. When I was a redshirt freshman, there was actually 2 Nebraska memorabilia shops up in Estes. That's how strong Husker fans are everywhere. All right, my man, I appreciate you taking the time to join me. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Sports Show! The 56th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show is bigger and better than ever. January 31st to February 2nd at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Don't miss it.
Sports Show!
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com. Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Nottingham Forest plays Brighton at 6:30 a.m., followed by Newcastle versus Fulham at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Wolves plays Aston Villa at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Man United plays Crystal Palace at 8 a.m., followed by Arsenal versus Man City at 10:30 a.m. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake, and welcome to Mind Your Mind. My girlfriend recently added a sign to her beauty shop that reads, "Life is beautiful." I know many may not see life the same way. Some may view it as hard, depressing, grievous, lonely, or even cruel. But does it have to be? I can't help but hear the reggae classic by Friday and Colonel Mike, "Life is what you make it." As I looked at her newly decorated wall with the words, "Life is beautiful," she looked at me and said, "You have to find the beauty in it." Despite how life has treated us, we must dig deep to find the beauty in it. After all, we are alive and breathing. Why not change your view and see the beauty in it? I encourage you today to change your perspective. Step back and change the direction of your view. There is beauty in everything if you look close enough. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. And if you haven't seen it trending on Twitter, if you haven't seen it worldwide on every news outlet, that's because it's not out there. But it's a big deal to us. We're going to 2 hours on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The Adam Carriker Show is now 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. each and every day, starting on Monday here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, Jake, anything newsworthy from the text line or just in the world in general?
Certainly in the world of sports has some interesting stories going on. Federal prosecutors are investigating whether Terry Rozier, now playing for the Heat, but while he was playing for the Hornets, manipulated his performance in 2023 as part of an illegal sports betting scheme. So get ready for that to start again. Also,
more positivity for the NBA, just what they need.
That's right. Also, Ravens kicker Justin Tucker, here in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, the story came out, has been accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 massage therapists, the Baltimore Banner reports.
Do you know if him and Deshaun Watson were ever roommates?
Not sure.
Yeah, I hope not. All right, here we go. Trivia question.
Uh-oh.
There's actually a decent chance you might get this. There's also a decent chance you won't. So it's one or the other. Let's have some fun. DANI BUSBOOM Kelly is Nebraska volleyball's 4th head coach. Can you name the other 3? And 2 should be incredibly easy.
Yes, 2 are very easy. John Cook and Terry Pettit.
Yep.
I cannot name all 4.
That was the one I was like, I don't know. He's either going to know the first one or not. Pat Sullivan.
Okay.
That was the very first. I got Jake. Change the tiebreaker. I'm going to keep coming at you every day until you change that tiebreaker. Dude, the world is crazy when you think about the accusations, of Justin Tucker and the NBA. And I mean, not long ago, we were talking about SUVs the size of drones the size of SUVs in the sky. Unfortunately, we got helicopters hitting planes. Thoughts and prayers with all those folks. It's a crazy world out there. But I want to talk about something a little bit more inspirational. All right, Greg Sharp, the voice of Nebraska football, the voice of Nebraska baseball since 2007 when he came here from Kansas State. And I remember when it was first announced, everything that he was dealing with, he said in 1971, kind of the first game he ever went to that really got him into wanting to call sporting events was Kansas, Nebraska in basketball. I think it was a Big 8 tournament game, or maybe it was just a league game, conference game. All right, but he's been the voice of the Huskers for so long. He's a true inspiration. I'm sure you saw this yesterday. Again, I don't have a show Wednesday, so I wanted to talk about it today. But they dedicated the radio booth in Memorial Stadium and made it the Greg Sharp radio booth. And I thought that was pretty cool. This is a guy that, like, he just wants to do his job. He just loves doing his job, doesn't really seek any sort of attention. And he's just a true inspiration. And I wanted to shout out a true Husker on something that I thought was very, very cool and well deserved. All right, man. Rocco Spindler canceled, Notre Dame offensive lineman, canceled a visit to a school yesterday. I'm like, all right, national insiders haven't come into Nebraska. Nebraska insiders haven't come into Nebraska. Nebraska, I know, has the largest offer on the table to Rocco, by the way. I know that. He's visiting an ACC school today, and it's kind of like, man, what is going on with this? Part of me wonders, does this have anything to do with the fact, the receiver, whose name escapes me, but he went to A&M that was going to walk on
Jonah
here.
Wilson.
Yes. By the way, considered one of the top transfer portal players in the country. I saw him as like number 6 on a list yesterday. It depends on what list you're looking at, but the list I saw, he was number 6. But he went there because we didn't have a scholarship to offer him. Could that be a problem with Rocco Spindler? Is that maybe the reason why we have the largest offer on the table to him? Is to say, hey, this is what your scholarship would have been, and then here's in addition what you can get on top of it, what would have been a regular NIL type deal. I also know he's a grad transfer, so the rules are a little bit different for grad transfers. What I'm getting at, if we don't get him, after all the offensive linemen that we've gone after, we got Pritchett, we've gone after all MAC offensive linemen, all Conference USA offensive linemen, Isaiah Pete, and we went after Isaiah World, and obviously Pete goes to Kentucky, World goes to Oregon. What does it say that if he doesn't come, because we've talked about if he comes, what the offensive line looks like and how beneficial that is, especially on the interior. Now we've got legit starters with experience. We got depth. We got young guys coming up with talent. The tackle spots are still a little bit more open. But if he doesn't come, what does that say about why we're struggling to bolster the offensive line, in your opinion, Jake?
It's a riddle I think Nebraska needs to figure out pretty quickly, because I've kind of felt the same way about the careers of Turner Corcoran and Ben Hart. They were kind of forced in early into their careers at tackle, and Nebraska just seemingly hasn't been able to get competition in there for them. You've talked about it before. We thought Corcoran might move better at guard, and they've just never been able to do that. But especially in this era, especially with NIL, especially with Dylan Raiola, it's tough to say. And all I can say is they need something more to sell on that offensive line. They haven't put up a whole lot of people to the NFL. Maybe if you had a coach in place that had a long resume of doing so, not going after Donnie. I'm just trying to think of reasons why.
I think it's fair to point out.
Attractive.
Yes, I think it's. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I just think it's fair. Oh man, it's challenging. I remember Bryce Benhart back when he was a freshman 14 years ago. Okay, he struggled, young guy, freshman, and I'm like, well, You know, 4-star, one of the top players in the country, number one recruit in the entire state of Minnesota. I remember at 6'9", he won the state wrestling championship in high school. You have any idea how hard it is to wrestle a leveraged sport when you're that tall? That was insanely impressive to me. But after watching him his redshirt freshman year, I'm like, he should go to guard. But they couldn't move him to guard because he was the best we had. And that's a compliment to Bryce, but also you got to have more guys competing for these spots. So hopefully we get Rocco. It's a long off season. The transfer portal pretty much never closes, if we're being real, as far as who can commit, when, and et cetera, et cetera. So I doubt if we're done by a long shot. But, like, man, we've got to start getting linemen. All right. Oh, and I love that Brett Bielema, before we get out of here, called out Jim Harbaugh. It's what he gets for not washing his hands after he went to the bathroom Big Ten Media Days 2 years ago. But Justin Spurrier put out a quote from Jim Harbaugh a couple years ago, and I quote, "If you cheat to win, you've already lost," end quote. Bielema quote tweeted this and said, "Really? Why did you leave? Was looking forward to playing, but understand why you ran to the NFL. See you in the future and can't wait. Hashtag family. Hashtag Illinois." I thought that was great. The man in charge of the Big Ten coaches text chain going after a former Big Ten coach. Go Big Red Nose. Remember,
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Nottingham Forest plays Brighton at 6:30 a.m., followed by Newcastle versus Fulham at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday